Hey y'all, hope you're having a good evening. I'm sitting out here. It is about, 85 degrees, which is cooled off for us. I'm looking at the clouds because they're really kind of pretty. It's starting to cloud up like it might rain, and I think that's why it actually cooled off a little earlier this evening. But I've been pondering for a couple days on, actually a little more than a week. I've been pondering on following directions. I don't know if any of y'all can relate to this, but I tend to not be able to follow directions to a T. You ever been in school and the teacher gives you a test and they tell you that you need to read all the directions before you do the test and read all the questions before you do the test, and then the very last instruction or question at the bottom of the page says, do not actually do this test, and hand it in blank. Yeah, I was the one that answered all the questions in record time because I was going to be first and I was going to be right and I was going to be done. Anyway, and then ended up making a big fat 0 because I didn't follow directions. So this has been a battle off and on my whole life because, number one, I am used to be very prideful. I used to think that I had to prove myself to everyone, and I always wanted to be first, and I always wanted attention, and I just always got myself into trouble that way. So fast forward, 30 years, dear Lord, I can say that, since I've been in school, and I still am dealing with some of those things, and God started to talk to me about it, a couple weeks ago, specifically maybe a month, about following directions. And I had this weird eating plan that someone pitched to me, and they said, hey, try this. It's supposed to lose some weight, it's supposed to be good for you, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, yeah, that looks very odd. It's sort of a detox, sort of a fast. I don't even understand it all the way. So I kind of pushed it to the side. And then last week I was like, okay, I'll try it, But in my normal flesh, I tried it by only doing the parts that I thought I needed to do and not actually following the specific directions. So, yes, I felt a little better. Yes, I spent a little more time with God and got some revelation about eating without needing to eat, just eating to be eating, so to speak. But I didn't get any good results. I didn't get any good fruit as far as weight loss. And so I was like, God, well, that's cool, but that didn't work for me. And he was like, do it again next week. And I was like, really? He was like, but this time really follow the plan. And I was like, ugh. And he's been doing this in other areas of my life too, like being a good steward with money. Like if you get a blessing, like if somebody hands you a 20 or, you get $50 extra this week because you sold something randomly, or a check showed up in the mail, or a gift card or something like that. Do you do the wise thing? Do you go and apply it to debt, or do you go and apply it to eating out or getting something that you've been wanting, such as, a luxury item, which right now, I do believe in taking care of yourself, and I do believe that pedicures and manicures are taking care of ourselves, but I believe there's a time and a place, and when you're in a tight crunch, you could do your own pedicure, manicure, and apply the money to debt or to bills. And so I haven't always been wise there. I haven't always followed direction. I've kind of lived under the lack mentality of, oh, it's only $1. What difference does it make? But the truth is, this may not have been the greatest place to sit. The truth is, dollars add up. And if you're not faithful with a little, he can't trust you with much. So if you're at Walmart and you're like, well, it's only $1, or if you're, giving your kid X amount of dollars a week and they need extra money and they didn't budget well, we tend to perpetuate our own problems onto our kids, and enable them to become just as not good at following directions as we are. But we expect our kids to follow directions, right? We're like, if you'd have done it exactly like I said, that wouldn't have happened. At least that's me. I don't know if it's y'all. Anyway, so following directions in whatever area has led me down some really hard roads. And God allows that because he's a good father and he wants us to learn. So I've been led down some hard roads, and by my own accord, I'm taking full responsibility for that. So now I'm working on following directions better. So this week I started the weird diet plan today, and I followed it to the T, so to speak, and I feel amazing. But even better than that, I've been listening to the Holy Spirit more and not being led by my flesh. And so I was working I have a couple hours set aside every day to work on a new project. And so I was working on that project, and I was sitting down, and I was really feeling good because I was making progress, and I was starting to understand things that I didn't used to understand. Technology is not something that comes easy to me. Online sales and things like that, building things, I have to have help, and I had to hire a coach, and I had to make an investment there. But I'm starting to understand it, and I'm starting to see some fruit from it and see some good results. And basically, this whole system that God allowed me to invest in is about following directions. Because literally, if you can follow directions, you can make money online with the system. I don't care what your product is. I don't care if you are your product, if your book is your product, if your business is your product, health and wellness, essential oils, I don't care what it is. You can make money online with the system. So as I was sitting there building it out, and because I had asked God a couple weeks ago, let me backtrack a little bit. I asked God a couple weeks ago, I threw a fit a couple weeks ago and said, look, I'm really tired of this. I'm tired of being on this tight budget. I want to go back to where I had more than enough. I want to go back to where, I could bless my family. I could bless myself occasionally. I could bless others all the time. That's my heart. So what in the world am I supposed to do? And after my little fit, and, he said, do what's in front of you. And I was like, I don't have anything in front of me. And so he was like, yes, you do. And I was like, no, I really don't. But thanks for, whatever. And so another stoplight goes by, because this is all happening in my car. And he's like, Dawn, use what's in front of you. And I'm like, okay, God, what's in front of me? Like, literally, I don't see it. So you're going to have to show it to me. And yes, I have those conversations with him pretty much like that. And yes, I have yelled at God and screamed at God. And, he's a big, big God, and he can handle it, and he knows my heart. So anyway, got home, was doing some things, scroll a Facebook post, and I see somebody say, oh yeah, remember, if you're an affiliate, you can make the commission off of the system. And I was like, an affiliate? Let me think about that for a second. I bought the system. Does that mean I'm an affiliate? Cool. So I go in, look at it. Oh, I'm an affiliate. Oh, I have a link. Oh, this is right in front of me. So fast forward to today. I'm working on it. It's going well. It's smooth. It's easy. I'm really shocked at how well I'm doing with it, because like I said, I'm not super technologically minded, but I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm thankful. So anyway, sitting there doing the system and doing some training that she teaches us, and basically I hear God say, you're following directions. And I was like, well, maybe I'm following directions. And he's like, no, Dawn, this is what happens when you follow directions. And I was like, oh, so I actually see fruit and am able to understand things when I don't try to reinvent the wheel, do it my way, alter the directions. Hey, Rebecca, change it up to fit what I think it needs to fit when I just follow the directions. And he's like, yeah, he's like Moses. Because I was like, what's an example of someone that didn't follow directions in the Bible? And I'm sure there's 1,000 of them, but the one that came to me is the pretty costly one. Like, Moses was appointed to lead the people out of Egypt. He did that. He was appointed to lead them through the desert. It took 40 years. But the odd thing, sad thing, whatever you want to call it, is Moses didn't follow a direction, and by not following God's direction in that one instance, it caused him not to be able to enter the promised land with everybody else. I mean, he was like, I don't know, don't quote me, but 900 years old. So he could have entered the promised land. God could have extended his life, whatever. God can do whatever he wants. But because Moses, when the Israelites were wanting water, God said, speak to the rock and it'll produce water. Well, he hit it with the staff, right? And I think I got that right. I hope I didn't get it backwards. And instead of doing what God said and acting out of frustration, which, hello, have you ever been there? I have acted out of frustration. I have changed the rules to fit my own needs. It cost Moses his ability to enter the promised land. I'm like, wow, whoa. I don't want to not enter my promised land. I don't want to leave my blessings behind. And what's more, I don't want to affect my family and the legacy and the destiny that's before me by not following directions, by simply letting pride and ego get in the way. Sorry, guys, I'm sitting outside and I think I got to fly, trying to land in my face, or maybe even in my nose. But anyway, nonetheless, I don't want to be that person. I want to follow directions. And so I've asked God to guide me there, and he's disciplined me there, and he's had to, because it takes me a minute to learn sometimes. I'm sometimes a little persistent and strong, and so sometimes it takes those of us who are persistent and strong more than one time to learn something. And so, but this time I'm so invested in this, that I want to see this through, that it's become, not only do we need to see it through because there's a need there to improve this income for our family, but there is a desire to see from my heart that I can follow directions and I can be successful. I know who I am. I know I'm the daughter of God. I know I've a co-heir to Christ. I just have to gain access to all that He's already given me, and to gain access, I have to follow directions. It's really, really simple, right? But we make it kind of hard. So I don't know. So I'm following directions. I'm seeing fruit. I know this thing is going to explode soon. Have no doubt about it. Have a pretty lofty goal to connect several people a week into the system so they can see the benefits. There's not a system out there, I don't think, that when you sell a product, you make a 50% commission. And yeah, this one you make a 50% commission. Also, I'm helping some other people that are not necessarily buying into the system, but I'm giving them a referral fee. So if that, piques your interest, message me. But I just wanted you to know that I am following directions. I am learning. It takes me a minute, and I love you guys, and I hope you understand that just because it takes me a minute doesn't mean I'm not going to get there, and it doesn't mean you're not going to get there. And it doesn't matter how many times we mess up, thank goodness. As long as God doesn't say, hey, you can't enter the promised land, we still get another shot, right? So the other thing about that is we never know when our last shot is. And having lost some people in my life, I appreciate every moment with everyone and everything that's put in front of me. And I'm super grateful for that, because it's changed my attitude to one of true gratitude, and it's helped me to keep my heart pure. And yes, I struggle, and yes, I get frustrated, but it's easier to come back to that point of putting God first in everything, because I've seen the fruit of that. I've seen God answer prayers. I've seen God move mountains. I've seen God completely, radically change my life since I became grateful. Now, other side of that is I used to murmur and complain. You ever met someone that said they're broke all the time and they need a job, and then when they get the job, then they start murmuring, complaining about the job? Like, I can't believe my boss did this. I can't believe my coworker did this. I can't believe XYZ. Yeah, I used to be that person. Every time I got something that God would ask God for, I would find a reason to complain about it. So hence, I didn't keep it, right? I didn't get the blessing that He had in it for me. He gave me what I asked for, but I wasn't grateful. And so then and He didn't take it away. My murmuring and complaining caused me to miss out on blessing and sometimes be let go from the position. Let's be honest. No one wants to be around someone that's stirring the pot all the time. So I just want to remind y'all to be grateful for everything, especially if you've asked God for something and He's handed you something like we did this week. We've been praying over finances, and we had several small blessings come in. And so we've been very careful to use them appropriately, gas, whatever. We haven't just put it in our mouth, which we are prone to eat out way too much, like most of America. We make excuses on how our life's so busy, but we're the one that makes our life busy. And we're the ones that let our kids do 17 sports and don't have time to cook at home, where it's healthier and better and cheaper. But anyway, that's a whole nother video. I love you all. I'm not going to murmur and complain about that. I'm going to be grateful that we have had some blessings and we are being good stewards and we are starting to see some fruit. So my tree may be just with a little bit of fruit, but I promise you within 6 months, if you hang around with me, you're going to see my tree is flourishing with fruit more than I can even ask for, dream, or imagine, because that's what that's what my dad told me, and I'm standing on His promises. So I love you guys. I want you to follow direction. I want you to squash your flesh, and I will share with you how much blessing I get through this. If you are looking to make an extra $1,000, or if $100 is something you're interested in making, message me. I'll leave a link in the comments. We can chat over coffee or Zoom or the phone or whatever. Thanks to technology that I'm learning, we can do all kinds of stuff. But I know the system can help you no matter what your product is. So, love y'all, and I can't wait to see you. Oh, and right now, there's like a free group training on this system. So if you jump in right now, you can join the group training, which is like live coaching, which is like several $1,000 value for free if you invest in the system. Come on, who doesn't want to do that? And then you can earn a 50% commission. It's a no-brainer, y'all. I'm just saying. Anyway, I love you all. I will talk to you soon. Be blessed, Renee. I love you. I don't have my reading glasses on, so I can't read your comments, but I love y'all. I will talk to you soon, and I will respond once I read them. Night, y'all. Be blessed.